Hi creative friends, I'm Jane from Sustain My Craft Habit. Today we're partnering with Chirp Books to show you how to turn t-shirt yarn into adorable baskets for your home. Welcome back to our channel. Although my sister Sonia and I share a variety of different types of crafts here on our channel as well as on our blog, crochet is just one of those things that has always been my go-to and my favorite. It's just so satisfying to make something from yarn into something useful and beautiful to keep for your home or give as a gift. One of our most popular tutorials here on our YouTube channel, one of the very first ones that we ever published, was on how to make t-shirt yarn. So the trick to our video is that you use the whole entire shirt to make yarn such as this, which is usable for all sorts of different crafts. So when Chirp Books reached out to partner with us on a fun project and craft that would be perfect to go alongside with listening to a great audiobook, this crochet t-shirt yarn basket project was one of the first ones that came to mind. It's been something that I've been wanting to do for a while. So I don't know about you, but I always love to have something else going on the side when I'm crocheting. I find it really relaxing, makes the crochet process more enjoyable, and I feel productive at the end of it all. So either it's listening to music or a show on in the background, I just always have something on the go. I guess it's the multitasker in me. And that's why I was so happy to discover Chirp Books. So Chirp is an online book deals site for audiobooks with millions of members. And the best part is that they offer deals every week up to 95% off on excellent audiobooks of all genres. As a mom of four, reading a book doesn't happen very often, so being able to listen to these books that are often narrated by the authors themselves helps me to keep up on the latest and greatest in the literary field and also feel really good about what I'm doing. Chirp is great too because unlike other audiobook providers, it's not a subscription service. So you actually go in and find the book that you like and you buy it, and it's theirs for you to keep for whenever later you want to go back to it. You simply download it to your library and it's there for you, which I love because sometimes I get started on a project or a book and then I don't go back to it for a few weeks. I don't really appreciate the pressure of feeling like I have to listen to something before it expires. I really appreciated the opportunity to explore the Chirp website, and it reignited and reminded me of how much I love reading and books. And a couple of the ones that jumped to mind right away was Broken in the Best Possible Way by Jenny Lawson. I'm really looking forward to hearing her journey and experience. I also picked up some light summer reading in Paradise Cove. This was in the deep discount section, the special deals section of 95% off, as well as Making Space Clutter-Free because I have been struggling with the clutter in my home. And so I'm hoping to pick up some new perspectives and tips on organizing and getting our house in order. Chirp Books has made it really easy for you guys to explore by offering a coupon code that you can use on your first order. So use the code CraftHabit50 to get 50% off any of the books that you order for the first time and sign up. And we'll leave a link to that in our description below, so definitely do check that out. Now that I've picked my books and downloaded them to my device, I am ready to get started with our crochet t-shirt yarn basket project. To make this adorable little crochet basket with t-shirt yarn, all you need is the t-shirt yarn itself. So I have yarn from one t-shirt here, the white yarn. If you'd like, for this top part, you'll need some t-shirt yarn in another color a little bit. So I'm going to use this navy for this second basket. We're going to need scissors as well as a crochet hook. So I am using a 10mm hook, which is perfect for this thicker t-shirt yarn. And then I also have a second hook, which I will use at the end to help weave in the ends of the basket when it's done. You can find the printable pattern for this crochet basket at sustainmycrafthabit.com, and I'll leave the link to that in the description below. I have my t-shirt yarn. This is the tail end of the yarn, and we're going to start by creating a magic ring. So this is a great technique when you're doing a round project, and I used it for our crochet coasters and different projects that we've made. So it's pretty simple. You're going to take the tail end, leave your longer tail to the side that you're used to crocheting on. Wrap the shorter tail one time around your 2 fingers, and then from back to front, wrap it one more time. So this is what that's going to look like. This part is facing towards you, the short tail of your yarn. And then you're going to just hold this guy in place with your pinky to keep him from sliding around. So it tastes a bit awkward. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but give it a go. And now we're going to take our 10mm crochet hook and insert it under the first loop and pull through the second one to create kind of this new loop. Twist it upwards and around, and then pull your long yarn through. Okay, and this is basically how your magic ring is going to start and how you kind of secure it all together. So this is what that looks like. And the nice thing now about this is that this ring, our magic ring, is adjustable. So you can pull it longer or shorter. So we can leave it big as we're working on it, but then when we're done the round, we pull the tail to close up that circle. So then you don't even have the hole in the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1, and this is going to be our first single crochet of this round, and we're going to work around the circle holding this tail and do 7 more. So we'll have 8 single crochets around the circle at the end. So that's 2, 3. And this guy's going to want to twist a little bit, but that's okay. Just kind of let him go where it wants to go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now this is going to be our first round, which is the bottom part of the basket, and you can see as I pull the tail, I'm closing that circle, inner circle, to make it nice and small, and then the round comes together. See that there? Okay, and now we are going to slip stitch to join our last single crochet to the first single crochet of the round. So just push that in. It's a little bit tight for the first because of that first round, but work your crochet hook into there. Okay, so finally we've gotten our hook into the top of that first single crochet, and we will pull that through that single crochet as well as the one we just finished. So there we go, that's slip stitching, and that finishes the first round of 8 single crochets. Okay, now we're going to start the second round, which is going to continue the single crochets. So we are going to chain 1, that's 1 single crochet, and then do 2 single crochets in each of the spaces around for 16 of them in total. So that's the first 2. Two more, and you just want to watch your tension. The goal is to make sure that when we're done our base rounds, this is the bottom of our basket, which you can see here, that it's nice and flat. So if you're finding that it's curling or doing kind of a wave, then either you need to go looser on your work or use a larger crochet hook. That's a bit of the trick with working with t-shirt yarn, is that each one is, each t-shirt is a little bit different in weight, and so it takes a little bit of playing with to find the right size of crochet hook. I found the 10mm, even 11mm, and 15 works well for me and this weight of t-shirt yarn, but again, if you're having troubles, like I mentioned, with puckering or waving, then revisit that. Okay, so I've done The first two, 2, 4, 6, that's 8, and do 2 more in here. That's 10. $14, and then 2 more in the last one. That's 16. Okay, and now we're going to slip stitch to our starting chain 1. So now we have our first 2 rounds completed. Our hole is a little bit bigger, so if we turn it over and pull that tail, we can try to close it off a little bit more. Now we are ready to go on to the 3rd round. So now we will again chain 1, so that's our first single crochet of the round. Now we're going to increase around by 1 stitch for every 2. So at the end of this round we're going to have 24 stitches. So we did chain 1, we're going to single crochet in the same space so that we have 2 there. So that's 2 single crochets. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next space and 2 in the next space. Okay, so we have a 2, 1, 2 pattern going. Again, 1, 2 in the next space, 1 in the next space, 2 in the next one, I find these little baskets so versatile. You can use them to store craft supplies, school supplies, office supplies. It just looks so cute. You can use them as gift baskets. You could use them as plant pot covers, or for fresh plants, or to put in some faux spring flowers or summer flowers. So there's really so many uses for them, and what a great way to reduce waste and upcycle shirts that are worn or not good anymore for wear outside. You can see mine here actually has a little bit of discoloration, which is okay. I mean, it's still going to be really cute at the end. Okay, so where are we? We did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then the last one will be in here. It's 24. And then again we will slip stitch to our starting single crochet. There we go. So those are our first 3 rows of the bottom of the basket completed. Okay, so we've completed our magic chain to start, round 2, so round 1, 2, 3, and now we're doing our 4th and final round for the base of the basket. Okay, so here we go. We're going to again chain 1, And this time we're going to do a single crochet in the next space, 2 single crochets in the next one, one single crochet in each of the next 2 spaces, and we will repeat this pattern of 1 1 2 1 1 2 around our circle, and in the end we'll have 32 stitches. Now for these longer rounds, I'm enjoying listening to my new audiobook, which I don't really get to do very much, and I really appreciate this, that I get to craft and make something beautiful, all the while also keeping up with the latest bestsellers and creative writing that's out there in the world. Okay, so I am back again to the beginning, I think. Let's count them out. Starting single crochet, single crochet. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32. So that's 32 stitches, and again we will slip stitch to our starting single crochet. So there we go. Perfect. Okay, we're done the 4 rounds that make up the foundation of our basket, and now we're going to work up the walls of the basket. So we're going to start by actually turning the work over, or holding it over this way, and working around just on the top stitch. So this surface will form the inside of the basket, whereas the surface that we've been seeing up till now will form the bottom of the basket. Okay, so we're holding it this way, chain 1, and now in this single crochet from our last round, that first single crochet, we're just going to work 1 more single crochet into that back loop. Okay, so there's 1. And we're going to repeat this all the way around, just in that back loop, not both loops. Typically, if we were going to keep going around, we would use both, but we're just working single crochets into that top loop. And this will then help to make sure that our walls form up away from the base. Let's keep listening to our book as we go around all the way. I'm going to go a bit quicker with this part of the video, and if you need to, just pause it as we go around, and then I will meet you again at the very end. Okay, so we've made it all the way around the first row of our walls of the basket. So I'm just going to count how many that is. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 30 1 2 3. If you recall that our starting chain had 32, and we added 1 additional one at the beginning, because what we're trying to achieve is a little bit of this bulbous shape in our basket, which makes it really cute. Otherwise the walls would just go straight up in the basket, which would also work, but it wouldn't be quite as cute. So we want to make sure that for our first row we have 33 in the round, which we do. We're going to do a slip stitch into here. So that is our completed first row of the walls of the basket. We're going to start the second row with a chain 1, which is the first single crochet, and then in the same space we'll do 1 more chain 1, which then in the end we'll make sure we have 34 single crochets around to make it a little bit wider for that bulbous shape. And now we keep going around with more single crochets all the way around. Are you somebody who typically crafts or crochets while also doing something else, such as watching a show or listening to music? I'd love to know. Leave me a comment below. Or do you just really get into the work and appreciate focusing on that? If you are into reading books and listening to audiobooks, or are a book lover, what is your favorite genre of book? I typically, when I do read or listen to books, enjoy some action, adventure, or romance. Those are also the types of movies I like to watch. And then every now and then a little bit of popular science or nonfiction. Okay, we are done round 2 of the walls of our little basket. It's looking really good, coming along nicely. See there? It's holding its shape. And we're just going to count again how many we did. 1, 2, 3, 30, 1, 2, 3, and this last one is 34. So that's perfect. We went from 32 in our base to 33 in round 1 to 34. And now we're going to do several more rows with the 34. So in the total for our walls, we do that one row we just finished our second row, and we go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's a total of 7 rows of the white t-shirt yarn before we do 2 rows of the color and then the finishing row in white. Okay, let's finish off this row with a slip stitch again to the beginning row, beginning single crochet, chain 1. And now we're, rather than going in the same hole, which would increase our round by 1, we are going to just go into the next single crochet space and then continue all the way around. So I will go listen to my audiobook a bit and meet you at the end. Okay, we are done with our round 3 and it's looking really good so far. I mean, it's kind of cute as it is. If you wanted to finish here, you'd have an adorable little trinket basket. Just fasten off and away you go. But I think we are trying to achieve our little bigger basket, so let's keep going. Again, we are just going to go chain 1 and then single crochet all the way around. This basket is really fun to make because it actually works up pretty quickly. It's a fun kind of weekend project, or a couple hours to do, to pick up. It's not a huge commitment, and I am all about the quick and easy projects these days. I'm going to go a bit quicker with this part of the video. And if you need to, just pause it as we go around, and then I will meet you again at the very end. Okay, so I am back around to the beginning. I will slip stitch to join. And there is that row completed. Okay, so there we are at the end of our 4th round. And I've slip stitched and then chained 1, all ready to start my 5th round. Just before doing that, you want to go around and count your stitches to make sure that you're not inadvertently growing, so that you have 34 all the way around. And then keep going. So we're going to do 3 more rounds of 34 stitches. Okay, I'm at the end of the 5th row. I've done my 34 single crochets, and now again I'm going to slip stitch to the top of this starting chain 1. Okay, so now chain 1, here we go, and around 1 more time. is really interesting. In the app, it tells you how much reading you've done in the last 7 days, 30 days, or 12 months. It has the books that I have in my library. So this is the one that I mentioned about the decluttering, Making Space Clutter-Free by Tracy McCubbin. And then I'm really looking forward to digging into this one, Paradise Cove, which sounds like a really nice summer light reading. And then here I can search my library for books that I've finished and change various settings. You can also read your books through the Chirp audiobooks website where all the books are, and you can buy more and download more. So we have finished our 6th row. It's coming along. Now it's time for our last white colored row, the 7th row, or at least the last one here before we get into the 2 colored rows. I think we need to decrease though 1 stitch to start to create that rounded, narrower area at the top. So all we're going to do there, so I've joined to the top here. I'm going to start my next round with my single crochet, and then where I normally would start my next round here, I'm going to skip that first single crochet and go into the next one, so that when I go around now I'll have 34 stitches for my 7th round. So keep going and I will meet you at the end. I just really love the texture of this single crochet basket with the t-shirt yarn. It's definitely different than what you would make with any other type of yarn. It's just very chunky and sturdy. It's very fun to crochet and craft with t-shirt yarn. It's really coming together so cute, like a little basket, like a little bowl almost. Okay, we are back around again to the beginning, and again we will slip stitch, and honestly that's the end of our white rows. Looking really cute. Perfect. And now we're going to do, I mean, you could obviously continue and do all white in your basket. I just think it adds a nice little bit of extra interest to add these rows of colored t-shirt yarn. Before starting these next 2 rounds with my blue t-shirt yarn, I just want to show you how different t-shirt yarns can look. It's pretty imprecise because it will differ based on the composition of the type of shirt you're using, so how thick and heavy it is, as well as how wide you cut the strips when you're making your t-shirt yarn. So I want to use this blue, but it's about half the thickness of my white t-shirt yarn. So what I think I'm going to do is actually crochet with it doubled up like this as I go around those last 2 rows. I have my doubled up t-shirt yarn in blue. I'm going to create a loop and then pull it through my white that I just finished. And then I'm going to pull the white really taut, and that will kind of secure the blue in place. So it's a little bit extra bulky because I am doubling up the yarn. So let's see how it's going to turn out. I'm going to hold the white tail and the blue tails together as I start crocheting the next row. So we're going to use, so these are the 2 blue tails. I'm going to use the doubled up blue crochet t-shirt yarn. Okay, so here we go. Our single chain, and that's starting. Now I gotta pull my white really tight to hold that in place. Okay, so we've kind of fastened on, I suppose. Now we're going to do a single crochet here in the next space. And as I'm going, I'm trying to just hide the tails, both of the white yarn, which I'm going to cut to fasten off, as well as the starting tails of my blue yarn. So let's pull that through. Obviously I'm have the doubled up because, as I mentioned, this blue yarn came out a bit finer than the white. So, but otherwise you would just have one tail if you were using a single ply of our t-shirt yarn. Okay, it's a bit awkward, but let's keep going. Oh, I didn't pull it through here. There we go. So that's our first single crochet. Now we're going to go the next space. Over on sustainmycrafthabit.com, we have a roundup of over 24 different ways you can use t-shirt yarn in crafting. Everything from making baskets such as this to jewelry ideas. We also have a rag rug tutorial that's done with finger crochet. So lots of great ideas for how to repurpose old t-shirts into new and usable items for your home. So I will leave a link to that in the description below. Now this white tail from my white rounds, I'm just going to snip off here. There we go. We are about halfway through the round with the blue row, and what we want to make sure is that it does kind of narrow a bit at the top. If you remember, we have this little bit of a narrowing at the top. So we're going to do 16 single crochets, and then we will decrease. So to do this, you're going to go into this next chain as usual, but rather than pulling through here, we're just going to create one loop, and then you're going to go again through the next space. So now we have 3 loops on our hook, and then pull through all 3 of those. And that in essence decreases the number of loops that you've made. Now we will continue to around to the end with our single crochets. So now we're at the last 2 spaces in our crochet project. So we want to again reduce here. So as I did before, I'm going to simply pull this one through, pull that one through, and then pull my yarn through all 3 loops. Oh, it got caught on there somewhere. There we go. And now we will join together to our beginning single crochet with a slip stitch. Okay, so that's our first blue round. You can see it's doing that nice little kind of caving in, and we'll do one more blue all the way around. Chain 1 and then continue around one more row with 30 single crochets. Actually, I should mention, if you like the way that this looks as it is, you could actually just leave it here, stop here, and you have an adorable little basket to use as well. So this pattern is really versatile, all sorts of possibilities with it. I will also try it using just regular yarn and see how that turns out. So be sure to check that out over at sustainmycrafthabit.com. So here I have 14 single crochets, and then we're going to reduce one more. So again, place our hook inside, pull one loop through, and we pull that loop through in the next space. I'm going to pull a second loop through, so we have 3 on our hook, and then join all those 3 together. So there we go. That will reduce the top row by 1. And then continue around to the third last space from the previous row. Okay, so I have the last 2. Again, we're going to just decrease by going 1, 2. And then pull through both of those. And now we're going to join with the slip stitch. And that is it for our blue. Okay, so I've trimmed my tails after slip stitching, and now I'm going to fasten off by pulling those tails through and pulling it tight. And then I can work these tails in to hide them in behind the work. So super, super cute. Now the last part. I mean, obviously, if you like this, you can leave it like this. I love that too. It'd be adorable. But we are going to just finish it with one more row of white and then the little handles. We're going to come back here to where we just fastened off. Take our white t-shirt yarn again. Pull it through, pull one loop through. Leave this tail end, which again will be worked into the piece to hide it later. We're going to make one chain one. So there we go, and I can pull that. That just kind of secures it there in place. And now we're going to slip stitch all the way around. So this is pulling the loop through of white t-shirt yarn, but rather than doing a single crochet, we pull that same loop through the original one, and then continue around again. So we'll just pull that one through and go all the way around. This just gives it a nice kind of finishing edge. I've really enjoyed listening to my ebook this afternoon while doing this, and I've learned something new. I'm excited to explore all kinds of different ebooks now through Chirp audiobooks. So be sure to use our promo code of CraftHabit50 to get 50% off your first order. So you can really pick up one of those New York Times bestsellers for a really good price, and then be sure to grab a few of those limited time discounted offers for just a couple dollars. You can grab a book and download it, one of their audiobooks, download it and have there for you to reference for whenever you'd like. So that code again is CraftHabit50 for 50% off your first order. And if you use the link in our description below, that is our referral link. We would appreciate if you check it out through there. Okay, we are coming around to the start of our little basket. This actually adds kind of, like a chain to the top, which looks really lovely. And just finishes it off. Okay, and now finally we get to add our little handles. So let's make sure to get this last one in there. Okay, now for the handles, it's very simple. We'll continue this and do a chain 10. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we have our little chain 10 handle, and then we're going to skip 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in that fifth one, we'll go from front to back and slip stitch the handle in to the top of the basket. So there we go. Now we'll just trim our yarn. And pull that through to fasten off. And one handle is in place. Now we'll turn it around. So I'll show you in a second how to weave in all these tails. So now we're going to go to the opposite side of our basket. Find our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be right here and here. Go through both loops. So our little first one, and then 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Obviously you can make the handles even longer if you'd like. I like them just little handles there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 5th one. And we're going at the front, pulling through all the way. It's a slip stitch. Trim and fasten off. Let's pull it tight. So there we go. I'm really happy with how this second little basket turned out. So cute. So obviously we just have to deal with these tails. And I like to take a smaller crochet hook and then just kind of work them into the piece, hiding like colors together. The other option is you could use a darning needle to help sew those tails in. Okay, so that was for the blue tails are hidden. Then let's do the same for our white ones. You just need to hide enough of the tail to be confident that the piece won't unravel. And I like to follow along my previous stitches to hide those tails. And there you go, you have beautiful and adorable little crochet baskets to use for your home. Thank you so much to Chirp for partnering with us on this simple upcycling and craft idea. Be sure to like this video if you learned something new, and don't miss the opportunity to explore Chirp's collection of audiobooks. Use our code CraftHabit50 for 50% off your first order. You can find our promo code and the link to their website in our description below. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Bye!